We've got the all-new Mazda CX-50.
Mazda in Canada, Mazda in the United States, Matsuta in Japanese. Let's take it for a ride.
Got it in sport mode.
All right, we are in the CX-50 and it has this notification alert system for traffic signs and your speed. And anytime you get near either of them, it goes ping. Yes. And we have tried to switch it off.
Yeah.
It says it's off, but it's not off.
No.
So you might hear a ping once in a while. That's what that is. But what's under the hood of this CX-50, Andrea?
A 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine with a 6-speed automatic transmission, 256 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque on premium fuel. You get a little less power when you use regular fuel, 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, standard all-wheel drive on all models.
The base engine is basically this power plant minus the turbo, 2.5-liter four-cylinder, 187 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. Brand new vehicle. What do you get in it? What are the key standard features?
The base trim in Canada comes with a 10.25-inch display with Mazda Connect, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, leatherette trimmed upholstery, heated front seats, a 10-way power driver seat, heated leather steering wheel, Mazda harmonic acoustics 8-speaker audio system, a panoramic sunroof, a power liftgate, 17-inch wheels, and iActive Sense safety features. Here's an interesting fact. You can put a pop-up tent on the roof of the CX-50, which holds the weight of 3 people.
You've got this new MI drive switch.
Yep.
What can we put it in?
You got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure you subscribe. Most important thing is hit the bell, but also follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea for a sneak peek what's going on behind the scenes. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below. This video is brought to you by Canada Drives. Shop online for your next used vehicle and enjoy the convenience of to-your-door delivery and the confidence of a 7-day love it or return it guarantee. Visit canadadrives.ca to learn more. So we have a great question coming up in Questions, Coffee, and Cars. That's about halfway through the video if you're new around here, about how is this different dimensionally from its stablemate, the CX-5. And they are on different platforms, right?
The CX-50 is based on Mazda's small vehicle platform, which is what the CX-30 and the Mazda 3 are based on. The CX-5 is based on an older architecture.
Now you would think with a slightly more rugged look, with a little bit more ground clearance on those shoulders that have been added on this vehicle, it would handle kind of rugged, but not on pavement. It's fantastic.
It is just a wonderful drive. I'm really enjoying it. I find the turning radius to be quite amazing. It takes corners with ease. We were doing our car-to-car and drive-bys, and it's so nimble and agile, and of course with this turbo engine, quick.
We actually went off-road with this. It wasn't too crazy. It was a cottage kind of road, but there were some massive potholes because of the change of season. And this ate it all up. So it's quite competent. It's not an off-roader, it's a soft roader. But if you need a vehicle like this to go through snow here in northern climates or go to your cottage or cabin, not a problem.
Mazda has a new MI drive system that has sport mode, off-road, and tow mode. It gives you the confidence on different road conditions. And when we were off-road, like Zach said, on those potholes, it just ate up all of the bumps in the road. But when you're in an urban environment and it's snowing, Mazda recommends just putting it in normal mode.
Yeah, it's a logical system. So it's using all of the sensors, the traction and stability control, but it's shifting the torque proportionally from front to back, how quickly it locks it up, all of those things. That's where the big brains in Japan figure this stuff out. But the nice thing is this can tow up to how much, Andrea?
3,500 pounds. We towed a 3,200 pound Airstream, and it felt pretty good, didn't it, Zach?
Yeah, it was fine. We did a quick little acceleration acceleration test with it.
Yeah.
Listen, this is a compact crossover. It's not really betraying what it really is. It's got a 4-cylinder, granted, with the turbo you get up to 3,500 pounds, but you have to go into it knowing that it's not a mid-size SUV or a body-on-frame truck. But it did an admirable job with that very expensive trailer.
Yes, apparently it's $60,000 Canadian.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Now, we put out a little walk-around video about this a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people were like, I love it, and a few people like, I don't like it. I don't know how you couldn't like the look of this thing. I think they knocked it out of the park. I think it looks exactly what people are looking for today.
My favorite part about it is the wide stance. From the front, it has a little bit of an aggressive look. Our GT trim has a high gloss black grille, and I love the LED headlights. Hey, Zach, like they almost look like eagle eyes staring back at you.
And they do these faux vents. Usually I'm not a big fan of the faux vent thing at the back, but it really just makes the back end look chunkier and more substantial. I talked about it when we did that walk around video. To me, it kind of reminds me of a Volvo V60 cross country kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good company. It's not really a station wagon. I don't want you to get that that's what it is because it isn't, but I get that kind of vibe from it.
There are 3 trims in Canada and a 4th on the way, 9 trims in the US.
How can they get
10th,
9?
I know.
And we get 4.
We get 4. So the Meridian Edition trim is coming later this year, and it's a more outdoor looking vehicle, even more so than this. It's got 18-inch wheels and 18-inch all-terrain tires, and it's going to have a distinctive hood graphic and also headlight protectors. If you're interested in buying one of these CX-50s, it's on sale now in the US, but us Canadians, we've got to wait until May.
And they get how many trims down there?
They get 10, including the Meridian trim.
And we get 4. It's not fair. Right now, we move our attention to the inside. This is a win.
I think this terracotta interior is so pretty. You get that on the GT model in Canada and on the turbo model in the US. In the US, you get more of a stripped down version with a lower starting price point than us in Canada. So you get the 8.8-inch display screen. You just go one up from the base model, and that's where you'll get our standard screen, the 10.25 inch.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I mean, we have less trims in Canada, but they loaded up even the base model. We did that in our key standard features. But I would say the aesthetic on the inside, it is different than the CX-5. And it's an interesting thing because the ground clearance is higher, but I have this feeling like I sit lower in the car. So I think the seating position is lower, and it has a high belt line. So I like to, on that side, I like to drive with my arm on the window. It's a bit too high for that. So you kind of sit lower, even though you up a little higher. Like, how does that work? Why does it feel like a car?
You definitely feel like you're driving more of a car rather than a crossover.
Good thing you didn't say wagon, Andrea, because that would kill sales of this thing. I mentioned that.
Not for you, Zach. You love a good wagon.
I love wagons, but I mentioned that V60 cross country, and people are like, "Oh, way to kill it!"
Yeah.
You know, because anything that has wagon in it, people don't want it. That's why they turn everything into a crossover. It's not a wagon. But let's talk about the nice amenities in here.
I love all the stitching. It almost looks like a baseball glove stitching, and it has a really flat look to it, kind of straight lines. The simplicity is there. I think that's what Mazda was going for.
Now, Andrea has been getting feedback on Instagram about seats and Mazda products. What's the feedback?
Well, the biggest complaint that I get is on the CX-5 and the seats being much too firm. I would say that the seats in this are more comfortable. They are still firm, and I think one of the disappointments of these seats, for me anyway, is the length. I don't feel like I get as much thigh support as I would like, but they are more comfortable than the CX-5 seats.
So on that side, this is the top trim. You get lumbar support, but all it does is go in and out. It doesn't go up and down, and there's pitch on the driver's seat. There is height adjustment here on the passenger side, but no pitch control and no lumbar. That's certainly something they could add. Andrea always picks the best value trim. What is it?
In Canada, it's the base model. It comes with loads of standard features. If you're looking for extra features, move up to that GT line. That's where you'll find the Bose sound system, a wireless charger, navigation, 360 view monitor, front and rear parking sensors, and a wireless charger, along with ventilated front seats and heated rear seats. In the US, I picked the Preferred Plus trim for just under $32,000. I want the panoramic sunroof, and that's the trim it starts at, along with the power liftgate, heated front seats, a power driver's seat, and of course the 10.25-inch display.
So the back seat, really not much bigger than the CX-5, more on that in a second, but here's a shot of me getting in the back. There's adequate, I would call it, headroom and legroom, and then we turn our attention to the cargo area, and it is bigger than the CX-5. How to do with carry-on and a cooler?
Yeah, no problem with carry-on and a cooler. You can see the different configurations here and how deep it is. However, overall cargo capacity and space behind the second row falls short compared to most of the competition. A spare tire is stored under the cargo area in the CX-50, and if you're interested in towing, the tow hitch is a dealer install.
All right, we'll be talking about it. Let's get at it.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Is this larger than the CX-5 in terms of exterior and interior dimensions?
It is, except for one. The roof is a little bit lower. It's got more of a cropped roof compared to the CX-5.
That's right. So the exterior, it is around 6 inches longer than the CX-5, and it is 3 inches wider. When it comes to the interior, it offers more front row legroom, about 1/2 inch more. Second row legroom, a tiny bit more, not a whole lot more second row legroom. Overall cargo capacity, the winner is the CX-5.
Because of the roof.
Yeah.
Because they measure the whole volume of the interior. But the height is not as usable. Like
No.
people, you don't use height in an SUV all
That's
the time.
right.
It's the length and the width, and on that it wins, right?
It wins, but behind the second row, it's the CX-50 that offers more space than the CX-5, and you can see that there's more depth to it.
Yeah, so it is practically bigger, not
Yes.
technically bigger.
And when it comes to ground clearance, it has more ground clearance than the CX-5, which is at 7.6 inches, and the CX-50 is at 8.6 inches.
By the way, we're going to do a comparison of both of these products, the CX-5 and the CX-50, in an upcoming video. So make sure if it's already published, the card will be here.
I'm a current CX-5 owner, and my big question is, does it drive as beautifully and sporty as the CX-5?
I would say the suspension on this is more compliant.
Yes.
I actually enjoy driving this one better. The CX-5 we drove recently, we found the suspension really quite stiff on the updated 22 model. Not sure exactly what they did. We've asked. They didn't give us a direct answer, but I'll take this one.
I think this is going to appeal to more people. The steering isn't as heavy as the CX-5. I don't think it's as fun to drive as the CX-5, but a lot of people don't like that firmer suspension of the CX-5.
We were doing shooting of you going around corners and stuff, and you go, I love this. It handles so well. It's amazing. It turns so well. So
It handles so well, but I don't think it's as engaging as the CX-5 because it offers that stiffer suspension. I mean, it's hard to explain. They're both very good, but they're both very different. I do believe this is going to appeal to more people.
To me.
We put out a lot of content each week on the Motormouth YouTube channel, and it's so easy to find.
All you do is go to the YouTube search bar and type in the name of the channel, Motormouth, and then the brand you're looking for. In this case, it's Mazda or Mazda, and then all of our reviews and comparisons will pop up. It's that easy.
Wow, this Mazda CX-50 looks really nice. Is Mazda bringing in a touchscreen for its infotainment, or is it still the rotary wheel? Also, I think Mazda should put in the panoramic sunroof in all of their products. I agree with that. This is amazing.
It's the first vehicle they have with a pano roof. Guaranteed it's going to spread to other vehicles. There's new vehicles coming later this year, like I always get XC and CX mixed up. The CX-90 will probably have that. We don't know yet, but I almost guarantee
it's just so bright and airy in here. It makes a really big difference.
So Andrea was trying out the new feature, which is the touch screen for Apple and Android. I still prefer the wheel. You like the touch screen.
Well, this is a new feature for this model, and I hope all the models moving forward will have it. Specifically for wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, it becomes a touchscreen. Now, I did test it when I was driving. If you are going under 10 kilometers an hour, then it still works as a touchscreen, but it is a bit far from you when driving. What I loved about it is that I'm an Android Auto user. I put up my apps on the screen. I set it up using the touch screen, but then I use that center console wheel for all of my apps, and it is a breeze to use. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, so they want you to be able to do it while you're at a traffic light and you're kind of rolling up. You can use it, but it's locked out after that. I think it's probably a good safety thing.
Yeah.
I prefer the wheel, but now you have both. And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
Looks phenomenal. I love Mazda's crossovers, but I really want a vehicle that's at least a hybrid, given gas prices right now. Have they dropped any hints that an electrified or hybrid powertrain might be on the way?
So here's what's happening industry-wide. There's going to be electrification happening for every brand.
Yeah.
How much and when? Well, we have to wait and see. For this particular model of the CX-50, there will be a hybrid model. We're hoping it's going to be later this year. They haven't divulged exactly when.
Now, there are also going to be plug-in hybrids available. There's going to be more EVs. Mazda definitely has a plan in place that by 2030, they're going to have every vehicle in their fleet in an electrified version in some form or another. Mazda is going to introduce the Sky Active multi-solution scalable architecture, which is going to accommodate traditional hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and fully electric powertrain setups. The company is going to release many vehicles on this platform, starting with the hybrid when it arrives.
So that's coming. What can you buy now? What are their competitors? Let's get into it.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is a Subaru Outback with 2 engine options, a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder with 182 horsepower and a starting price just under $32,000, and a 2.4-liter turbocharged engine with 260 horsepower and a starting price of just under $42,000.
The Ford Bronco Sport offers 2 engine choices, a 1.5-liter EcoBoost 3-cylinder with 181 horsepower and a starting price of just under $34,000. Then there's the larger 2-liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost with 245 horsepower and a price of just under $43,000.
The RAV4 TRD has a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder with 203 horsepower and a starting price of just over $43,000.
Here's our used car alternative from CanadaDrives.ca. We chose the stablemate to the CX-50, the CX-5. This one has just over 58,000 kilometers for $29,590. Click on the tab or the link in the description below to find more vehicles in this category from CanadaDrives.ca.
So there are 4 crossovers for you to consider.
So let's get into things like towing capacity, the warranty, with our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. The base model in Canada is just under $38,000, and the top GT Turbo is just over $45,000. In the US, your base model starts at just under $27,000, and the first turbo model is almost $36,500. There's no pricing yet on the Meridian Edition model.
Here's the fuel economy. For the base engine, it's 9.7 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 7.9 on the highway. That's 24 miles per gallon city, 30 miles per gallon highway. With the turbo engine, it's 10.4 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 8.1 on the highway. That's 23 miles per gallon city, 29 miles per gallon highway. As we mentioned, the towing capacity of the turbo model is 3,500 pounds, the non-turbo 2,000 pounds. Mazda offers a warranty of 3 years with unlimited kilometers in Canada. In the US, it's 3 years with 36,000 miles. Lightning round. 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I love the way this handles.
I like the way it looks.
I would like to see a digital driver display one day, Mazda.
And this pinging, driving me nuts. Ping, pong. There it goes. I knew I could get it to do it.
Well, Mazda, you've managed to impress me again. I think you've got another hit on your hands.
The SUV pie keeps getting bigger, and Mazda has carved out yet another slice.
This video is brought to you by Canada Drives. Shop online for your next used vehicle and enjoy the convenience of to-your-door delivery and the confidence of a 7-day love it or return it guarantee. Visit canadadrives.ca to learn more.